everybody, Jim here from Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour. Welcome to episode 185. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, a quick shout out and thank you to Zwick for joining us last week. It was awesome to talk to him as always. Definitely make sure to check out the episode and check all of his links in the Thought Cop's Twitch to check out when he's streaming. And as you can tell, I'm doing the intro, so that means no Brian tonight. He's got something he's got to take care of on his end, so should be back next week, but we have an ace up our sleeve. We have the ultimate pitch hitter. You know him if you follow our page from our monthly bonus episodes of Bonus Beers, or you've seen him around on Twitter, on YouTube, and on his own podcast called the N Squared Podcast. He's our buddy Nerdy Nick. Nick, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Or Jim, I should say. God, I'm just so used to both of you guys being here. But
weird, right?
I am glad to fill in for Brian, and I hope that everything is taken care of, and all that stuff. But hey, we're here. It is Power Hour time, baby, and I'm excited.
Right. Yeah, man. So, for anyone who doesn't know, and how do they not, Nick, tell everyone where they can find you.
As I guzzle some beer down, you can find me, as Jim said, on my podcast, the N Squared Podcast, on all major platforms. You can also find me on YouTube under the channel name NerdyNick_91, on Twitter at BuffNerd, and on Instagram at NerdyNick91, where you can find all of my shenanigans. Lately, I've been a little bit busy wedding planning and whatnot, as this is my wedding week, so we'll be getting back to some regular stuff, in the next week or two. After Thanksgiving, of course.
Yeah, you've been doing pretty damn well with your podcast, and it must be, nice and freeing to just be like, oh, I'm a nerdy guy, so you can, hit every single gamut of whatever you want from week to week. You don't have, a set thing, kind of. It's just like, oh, this week's gonna be wrestling heavy. Or, your last episode where you talked about the new Modern Warfare 2 for, an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's pretty awesome. That's the one thing that I think I prefer over YouTube videos, is that I have a mic, and I have subjects, and I just go. There's no worrying about, what video theme I'm going to do, or this or that or the other thing. It is just, it's a buckshot.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like I use our bonus episodes to, catch up on current media because I don't watch anything ever. So
right.
It's actually nice. You kind of do it a little bit on your thing, too. I remember one of your earlier episodes of your podcast, you just sat there and listened to the whole new Limp Bizkit CD.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep, that is exactly what we did. We did a song by song review. Just two bros sitting on the couch listening.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, actually, speaking of sitting on the couch and drinking as you do, what are you drinking tonight?
Right, so tonight I am trying something brand new that I've never had before. This is from Belching Beaver Brewery. This is called America's Favorite Peanut Butter Flavored Milk Stout. It is a stout with natural flavor. It comes in at 5.3 alcohol by volume. I don't know where this comes out of. Let's see. I'm not sure where this brewery is. It was established in 2012. It says, peanut butter flavored milk stout. I'll read the brief description here. It says, Troy came up with the idea of combining the flavor of peanut butter with our milk stout, and he nailed it. Don't let the dark color fool you. This beer is delightfully easy to drink with cascading aromas of roasted peanuts, dark chocolate, and coffee. Good times to you, my friend, and welcome to the Beaver family.
Now, that was called the what beaver?
Belching Beaver. Here's
all right, that's either silly or disgusting, depending on how perverted you are.
Fuck you, Jim, because I never thought of the disgusting thing before.
That's the first thing my brain went to.
Yeah, but this is a dark beer, as you would imagine. It looks very chocolatey, almost like, almost got the Coca-Cola look to it, so dark.
Oh, but, wow.
It is not super heavy. These are almost kind of just too smooth to be a milk. I don't know, to be a stout in general.
Yeah, milk stouts are generally kind of pretty smooth, as long as you're used to the coffee flavor and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember early on, I hated stouts because I was I don't like coffee, but I'm the Keystone guy too. So what do you expect? But
samesies.
Yeah, I'll go for a stout or a porter any day over most IPAs at this point if I have a choice, just because it's easier.
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah, it's not as bitter. Yeah. This, you know what? Imagine a chocolate, a melted down piece of chocolate that has like some coffee grinds maybe in it, and then you dip a Nutter Butter in it. That's
Ooh.
what this tastes like.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is really good.
I will have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, and I am drinking from the Victory Brewing Company, local favorite of the PA region, the Berry Monkey. It is a fruited sour triple. Comes in at 9.5% alcohol. And let's see here, a sour berry twist. Perfectly fruity sour triple ale loaded with raspberries that add just the right balance of sweetness and tang with a smooth finish. It's undeniably very good.
God damn it.
Malts of Pilsner, hops of Tannang, and yeah, you know what? I've always been a fan of Victory's Sour Monkey, and this is kind of like an offshoot of that, but way less tart. So, if you don't like the harsh tartness of a lot of sours while still having a fuckload of alcohol in it, this is good. This is really smooth, and it's it's not boozy at all either. So
you said that's local.
Yeah, it's local, but you can find it like a lot all around the East Coast. So
okay, I'm gonna say that the logo Victory, it looks very familiar.
Yeah, you might have it out by. I mean, like their Hop Devil and Golden Monkey are like their biggest ones. So
okay, I'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, but if you see the berry one, this is really goddamn good. Victory really doesn't have any misses. Like I've never had anything really bad from them. But if you like you, Nick, being the health conscious type, get ready to have about 250 to 300 calories per can with this. So.
Well, I can only imagine what this fucking milk stout's got.
Touche, sir. But yeah, and
fuck it, it's wedding week.
Yeah, right, exactly. Load up now, look extra swole and puffy for the pictures.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Speaking of gaming and you playing Modern Warfare 2 in your latest episode, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I've just been dedicating my time to actually beat the campaign, and I loved it. Was it as short
as you were thinking, or was it a little longer?
It was probably as short as I was thinking it was going to be, and it was disappointing because the campaign was actually really good. It was solid. Mm-hmm. I haven't played a campaign like that in quite some time with Call of Duty. They try some new things with some different mission types and whatnot. I don't want to spoil it, but it was really good. And then I've just been playing a lot of the multiplayer on my PS5.
Nice.
The game types are, you're pretty standard, but they do drip feed in some new ones. There's like a, oh gosh, what is it called? It's basically capture the flag, but with like a teammate. Yeah, like or are you talking about like the prisoner mode? Yeah. Like that one's really fun. It is a little bit different, like with I think we talked about it in my episode, where you don't have like a stats hub. So you don't get to see like your KDR, your win and loss record, what your favorite weapon is, so on and so forth. Which is like disappointing. I guess like if anything, most people just look at it for ego. Right. But I just like to see it like, oh, how many grenade kills have I gotten? Because that's like my thing. Like, I played a match last night. I got 2 flashbang kills, which they're hilarious to see happen. Two flashbang kills? Holy shit. I literally just basically have to nail them in the head with it. Yeah, I hit a guy with a flashbang, and you just see him collapse immediately, and it was fucking hilarious. And then I got like 3 Semtex kills in that game as well. Nades are kind of my thing. But, yeah, it is a really fun game. It's a solid pickup. I did get like kind of pissed off because the week after I got it, Target did a buy 2 get 1 free sale, and that was one of the games on the list. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" But it's all right because you know what? Like, I went to GameStop, did the whole like night of release, where they do like the special event or whatever for that. Yeah. I got the Steelbook along with it, and a giant Modern Warfare 2 poster. So it was really cool. I really like the game. I'm digging it. I haven't really been doing too much of like trying out a new game per se other than Call of Duty. Just because I've been so busy right now, I'm just more along the lines of like, give me something I can pick up and play. Yeah. No, makes perfect sense. Yeah, what do you call it? I don't know if we got into it too deep last episode, but Brian and I did the midnight release like we always do. 10, 12 years going for him, something like that. Yeah. At this point, I just download it to my Xbox because like the time it takes to fucking load it from a disc and download the rest of it,
And I'm playing on the original Xbox One. So, like, I'm playing on ancient shit with that. Because that's what my buddies who play COD still have. So, like, by the time I'll be getting on, it'll be like 3 a.m. and they're ready to go to bed almost. So, I buy it, I preload it, and then, like, I'll just get the physical for the shelf for, like, $2 in, like, 3 years. So.
Right, yeah.
Because we used to... Oh, sorry to cut you off, but, like, we used to, like, hang out for, like, a couple hours before, hit the bowling alley, have a couple beers, get some Taco Bell, load up, and then, you know, go home and set everything up. But, you know, we're older, kids, time, one buddy's in fucking Seattle now, so...
Oh, jeez, yeah. Yeah, that was, like, the biggest, like, setback for me. I was like, cool, got the game, go home, download it. I put the disc in, and I didn't fucking realize you have to download the game, and then download the campaign, and download multiplayer, and any and all updates that come with it. So, when my PS5 was just on my Wi-Fi, it told me 23 hours. But once I hardlined it, it was like an hour.
Oh,
you
nice.
know? But still, I was like, Jesus Christ, I have like the fastest fucking internet package out here, and it's still going to be like 22 hours? That's crazy.
I think it's time for a new router if it's giving you that kind of Wi-Fi. Holy shit.
I guess so. I'm using this like panoramic fucking thing that they provide, but I don't know. I can even see my picture lagging right now. I don't know. It's like going in and out every now and then.
A little bit, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But,
so what have you been playing?
Actually, what do you call it? Finally finished up fucking XCOM 2. So I put
I saw that.
Put like about 60 hours into that goddamn game. Like it was donated to us years ago. And yeah, we were bad about getting around to it, but I'm so glad we finally did because it's fucking excellent. Yeah. So I'm obviously going to save like the thoughts for the full review, but my God, it is a game that will drive you crazy. It will kick your ass, but you just keep coming back for more. And it's actually like a game that you have to like let yourself lose. It's one of those games where you really learn more by losing than you do by like... It's a strategy game, so like you're always tempted to just like reload a save when you fuck up. But you're just going to have the wrong strategy going into it your first time. So yeah, just let yourself lose a couple rounds. Our buddy Leo the Incredible was like, dude, just let yourself lose a couple times. That's how you'll learn. But yes, finally done that. And actually, that's the first time in ages where I finished up a long-ass game, and I immediately went to the expansion and booted it up on hard mode, because I wanted to just...
Oh, wow.
It's got its hooks in me. So I'm going to treat that as like a casual play now, because I have other shit to get to, but... Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. But that was like the bulk of my playing. Like, I was obsessed with getting that done. So we have a couple more Patreon reviews we got to get to, so I'm going to start playing through them. But yeah, I haven't even touched Call of Duty since the first night, so I got to get back into that eventually and get my money's worth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I almost consider that like a night out with the boys at this point. It's just from my couch. Yeah. So it's like a night out at the bar. I spend $100 at a bar. I spend $100 on a game. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm speaking of XCOM. I've been waiting. Now it's probably too close to Christmas, but I do really want the Mario plus Rabbids sequel. That first one. I was so addicted to it. I think that was my first...
Yeah, I played that for the first time, or I finished it up finally for the first time this year. And yeah, I loved it. I was not expecting like a 25-hour campaign out of that either.
And then free DLC too?
Yeah, the Donkey Kong DLC is like another 15, 20 hours or something like that. I was like, all right, I'll get back to that later. Like that's...
Right.
I've had my fill, but yeah, like I was... shocked by how good Mario & Rabbids was. So I definitely want to get around to the new one some point. Have to be next year.
Right, yeah.
But yes, so moving on to, as we do, Patreon. Because at patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask us a question we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. Nick, it's not a Patreon-only episode. You're actually going to have a few questions to answer. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, man. First up, from good old JD Maines. The better movie, Goodfellas or The Departed?
I mean, you do get... I'm saying Goodfellas.
All right.
I love Goodfellas. That movie... Sorry, my dog is in his kennel right next to me, and he's a little bit loud. I do like The Departed... because of all the twists and turns that it gives you. But Goodfellas, you just don't get those movies anymore. you know, the old school mafia, you know, types. I mean, there's just something about that era of film that when you press start or play, it pulls you in right away. It doesn't really have to work up into all these twists and turns for it to be so great and so good. And
yep. No, I hear Goodfellas it's excellent. I haven't watched it as much as I should. I think I've only seen it like twice. So like I've seen Casino way more. I've seen the Godfather movies like, you know, a fuckload of times. But Goodfellas, for some reason, I've never gotten around to like watching like a bunch of times. I need to change that. But I mean, I'm a Departed guy. Like you can ask either Brian or I. Like that was one of those movies back in college that like we would always just pop in on a random night and shit like that. For us, it's like infinitely quotable. Like, you know, the twists and turns hooked us in, but that's just like, it's like ingrained in like our friend group and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, even like Dan from Console Wars, when we were like rooming with him for like too many games or when we just hang out, we just wind up getting drunk and just quoting The Departed all goddamn night. Because he's a fan with that too. So, yeah, I mean, they're both fantastic movies, but just for like, you know, the personal effect, I go Departed.
Right, yeah, so we're doing 50-50 booking here, I see.
Yes. Yeah. We're doing late 2000s WWE in this bitch.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just... Bro, there were not enough Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro Mafia movies, man. You know,
I know.
Ray Liotta, you know, R.I.P.
Ray Liotta is probably his finest work. I mean,
yeah.
Ray Liotta was fucking underrated, man. Like everyone just brings up Goodfellas, but like he was great in like Narc and even like a meh movie like Red Dragon, or is Tommy Vercetti in Vice City for the gamers out there.
Or fucking Smoking Aces. Mm-hmm. Great in that movie, too, you know?
It's funny. I remember when he was on Conan back around, like, when Narc and Vice City, because they both came out at the same time. Mm-hmm. And he was just on there talking about Narc. And I was like, talk about the fucking game you're in!
Yeah, right? That scene, man, it's so infamous to me when the helicopter starts flying around and chasing him. And you know, he's, like, all paranoid driving and shit. Like, that was, like, superb acting. Because you know that's how he would actually be.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Fucking one of the great ones. And speaking of course, we have to give a big rest in peace to the ultimate loss this past week, Gallagher.
Right? Well, shit. Kevin Conroy, too, man.
Who?
Batman?
I'm fucking with you.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I know Brian calls you dumbass all the time, but shit.
You're like, Gallagher! Yeah, nah, man. Fucking losing Kevin Conroy sucks. I mean, we're in that age group where that was just... He was Batman for us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we've had all the actors and shit, but he has been Batman through and through for fucking 30 years for us. Fucking rest in peace.
Yeah, like, whenever I read a Batman comic, I read it in his voice.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I hear. You know, it really did suck. But that's the thing about getting older, right? We're not kids anymore, and, you know, and as we get older, so do our icons and idols, and it sucks.
Yeah. And even, like, I think he was, like, underrated in a way. Like, you can't say Kevin Conroy's underrated, but, like, no one talks about, like, his Bruce Wayne. Because, like, his Bruce Wayne was, like, a perfect foil to, like, his Batman, too.
Oh,
like,
big time.
It was still, like, you know, basically the same voice, but just, you know, different inflection, a little lighter, a little friendlier. Like, he didn't have to go Christian Bale laryngitis to do it. Or, like, I love Michael Keaton as Batman, but he didn't change that much with his voice when, you know, between the characters.
Yeah, no.
Everyone else is just good as one or good as the other. Like, he just fucking nailed both.
Yeah, like, I can remember even the scene, there's a scene in Mask of the Phantasm where he's, like, I think training outside or something, and the chick comes up and they have a conversation, and all of a sudden you just hear him, like, approachable, friendly. Yeah. You know, and it's not so brooding like how he is when he's Batman. But even when he's Batman, it wasn't, like, gritty or anything. He was just like, I'm here to fuck shit up.
Right. He was serious and intimidating, but, you know, without being over the top.
And it's funny because you take a look at the guy and you're like, you look nothing like how I would have imagined.
And apparently, like, I'm like most of the internet who just learned today that he was gay. I was like, holy shit, I had no idea. And, like... Oh,
yeah, I had no idea either.
Yeah, and he apparently got turned down for, like, some roles and shit like that when they found that out. They're like, good work.
Wow.
Apparently he made some, like... I gotta track this down now. He made some, like, autobiographical, like, comic in DC that they did for him, where he, like, told his story before becoming Batman. So I really gotta check that out. Sounds like a good read.
Wow, that's interesting. I had no idea. Not that it matters at all, but
No, not at all. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. Like, on top of just, like, you see him and you're like, oh, that's Batman, cool. And he's like, he's gay. He's like, what? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, good for him, man. No, he was the best. So, rest in peace. And actually, I was only half joking about Gallagher. I've seen some of his specials, and they're actually, like, not bad.
Yeah.
Like, he's
known for the watermelon shit, but there was so much more to that guy.
Yep. And fucking Gallagher 2 still kicking. Not fair. But next up, from Michael Soto. With the passing of Kevin Conroy, do you think we'll ever get such an iconic Batman again? Not playing.
Wow.
Perfect transition.
Bam, there we go. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of... I'll say this. I feel sorry for whoever has to be the next Batman in any animated realm. Like, the newer DC animated stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's way better than their movies have been. And that Batman is fine for the most part. I think they kind of swap around some actors, if I remember correctly. But, man, the imposter syndrome that's going to hit, and I just... It's almost like maybe take a break from making some animated Batman stuff for a little bit to really find your true next Batman.
I don't know, do you take... I mean, because there's been a lot of different Batmans doing the voice even while Conroy was still alive, too, so...
Right.
I don't know. It's just tough to be like, who's going to be the guy that's going to be like the old go-to,
Yeah, and like
Dietrich Bader was good in Batman Brave and the Bold, and like whoever was the one in The Batman. Like, there's been a couple different ones, and even in the movies. Like, they've been good, but I can't tell you one that I'm like, oh, I want him to be the repeat.
Right, and that's what sucks, too, is they're always going to be compared.
Oh, yeah.
And I would hate to fill those shoes, or have to fill those shoes. But man, yeah, I if I'm thinking about who I would want to be the next animated Batman, it would seriously like take me a minute to think about, because I don't know. And I'm also trying like myself to not try to like, well, who can sound like him? Because see, that again, it brings to the comparison problem to light. So right. I don't know. I have to say right now, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even think you can like wait to try and have one. That almost builds too much hype. Just rip the Band-Aid off, do some more, try some people out, and see what sticks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sabat might be one for me.
I was actually thinking of Sabat. Yeah, I think he would probably be begging to do a voice that's not Piccolo or Vegeta at this point. Because those have kind of just molded into the same voice. Like, you can tell he's bored of doing it.
Yeah, I think he's having a really good time doing All Might in My Hero Academia. Because that is an interesting as fuck character. But I think he would be a very good fit. But and it would be crazy too, because for like a lot of standard animation viewers would probably like, who's this guy?
Yeah, right.
Like, almost, he's so big, but he's also like a giant unknown in the mainstream.
Well, that's how that kind of goes for like any voice actor. Like, I'm sure before like the the big uproar about it, if you ask someone like 3 years, like a normie 3 years ago, who the voice of Mario is, they wouldn't be able to tell you.
Right. Yeah.
Or Mario. Fucking. I was at a buddy's wedding this past weekend. Everyone was busting on my Philly accent. So.
Oh gosh.
Congrats to Biggie. Cheers, man. But yeah, what do you call it? Yeah, fucking just... And I never realized how bad or worse my wife's Philly accent was. So that was even worse. So
the only time I notice your guys' accent is with certain words. Like when you guys say water.
Yes, there are waters. That is a big giveaway. Or when we say towel. When we say towel, that's a big one.
Towel?
Yeah, towel.
I don't hear that.
Well, it's supposed to be like towel, apparently, but like we just do it as one syllable around these parts.
Towel.
Yeah,
that's fucking normal, right?
Thank you. And apparently, like my parents are like from South Philly, like they were South Philly the whole life, so they say tagger instead of tiger. And even I'm like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck that come from?
Yeah, well, at least you're not in Boston, where no one knows if you're talking about fucking pants or actual keys to a car.
That is true. It could always be worse.
It could always be worse. At least you're not throwing batteries at Santa.
It wasn't? What? One. It was not batteries. It was snowballs. Two. It was not like a guy hired to be Santa. It was a drunk in the crowd at a Eagles game who was being obnoxious.
It was still Santa.
It was a drunk in a Santa suit. It wasn't even. He was not Santa. That's bullshit. Now the batteries, that was JD Drew, and he deserved it. I have no apologies for that. There's no way to get out of that one.
Oh man. Well, at least, whatever. I'm not even gonna go where I was gonna go right now.
All right, I've heard it all. It's all good.
Yeah.
But next up from Gamer Astral, the most expensive game in your collection and the most money that you have spent on a game. Cheers. I'll let you start because mine's easy.
Well, I actually don't know, honestly. I have this app called GameEye, which, you scan your games and it, basically values and keeps a track of your collection. But I haven't been meaning to go through my collection.
Did you get lazy with that? Because I have Retro Collector, the app, and I got real lazy with doing that.
I have like maybe 7 games scanned in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it was like when I was drunk one night, I was just like, I'm going to start cataloging. And then I was like, I'm bored. But yeah, shit, man, that's a really good question. Because, see, I'm not one of those kind of collectors that's like, oh, I need this, I need Musha or fucking, sealed fucking Link to the Past or something. Like a lot of games that I collect are pretty common, or they're like childhood games that I've been trying to, notch off the list, and get back. Which, quick shout out to RLA Games for sending me a wedding package. I appreciate that. It was a game that I've been looking for a very long time. And they had the not common courtesy. They had the ultimate courtesy to send it to me as a wedding gift and not take my money. So I was like, super thrilled about that. So
that's awesome. I saw you post that picture. I didn't know what was inside there.
Yeah, it's Lucky Luke for the PS1. It's like it's not common, but it is not pricey at all. I think it's like an $11 game. It's based on.
You're good about bringing up those random PS1 games that are like a good value, but like they're not like the ones you see all the time. Like when you gave us Tiny Tank to do.
Oh yeah. Those are just kind of like the games that I grew up playing, and I got Lucky Luke today, so I'm like really happy about that. It's made by or published by Infogrames. Yeah, it's
what's it about?
So it's based on like a French comic, where you're a cowboy in the Wild West, kind of going after the bad guys. It's a side-scrolling, but it's 3D, so it's a PS1 3D graphics. It's side-scrolling shooter and platformer.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's really fun. I never got to beat it as a kid, so I'm glad I have the game now, so I can actually, hopefully, go through it and beat it. But yeah, I was like, I cannot find this fucking anywhere. And I do not like buying games online to fast track my game hunt. I am one of those sticklers that needs to find it out in the wild.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish for a while I could say the same. I was for a little bit, and then I fell into that rabbit hole pretty bad for a couple years. So
right. So I guess to get back to the question, maybe my Castlevania Symphony of the Night for my PS1, or gosh, I don't know what it's going for right now, but maybe like Saturday Night Slam Masters on the SNES. I don't know. I am horrible. I probably have like a $500 game in my collection and have no idea about it.
Yeah, you're going to stumble across a posting one day and be like, oh, wait, I think I have that.
Right? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I have Rumble Roses. I don't know how much that's worth.
That's not worth a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have it too.
Yeah, it's a fun game, though.
It is a fun game.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, booby wrestling? Ooh,
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Ooh, physics. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I do have Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 signed by the cast.
Oh, shit. That's cool.
Yeah. Yep. So I got those games signed by the cast. So I'll just say that. Fuck it.
There you go. Solid. Yeah. Actually, what do you call it? Well, I got to talk to Dan Pacina shortly for a little bit of Too Many Games, and he was like the nicest fucking guy. Was not expecting him to be like 5'2", but
oh yeah, he's fucking
guy
rad
in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Did you get to meet any of the others?
No, he was the only one I think that was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he got to meet Brittany and whatnot because he remembers me from all the other conventions we've run across. But yeah, they're really cool people. Very big drinkers.
I think the original Sonya Blade has me blocked on Twitter. So I know one of the Sonya Blades does. So can't remember which one.
Gotcha.
So
that's fine. I'm fucking blocked by Kendra Lusts on Twitter. So
what?
Yeah. She like posted a tweet. You know, like how when AEW announces they've signed someone, it'll say so and so is all elite.
Yeah.
Well, she did that, but for herself.
Okay. And
I was like, just because you can take a bump from the back doesn't mean you can take a bump on your back. Block instantly. To this day, still blocked. I checked the other day. I was like, I wonder if I'm still blocked.
Worth it.
Yep, totally.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like a sick burn.
She's a lovely girl, though. But besides that, yeah, to answer the question, it's funny you bring up Musha. It's funny you bring up Musha because that's my fucking answer. That's the most I ever spent on a game, and that's the most expensive game in my collection right now. So when I bought it, it was like around $300. I got it complete, well, mostly complete, because apparently there's like a big part of like any complete Musha collector is there is a registration card that went with it.
Right.
So I remember when I found out about that, like the card was selling on its own for like $50, and I was like, I'm not paying for a fucking registration card $50.
Right.
I wish I did back then because now that's worth like $300 or adds more value.
Oh.
But even then, the game's like worth like fucking $700 without it or something. So.
Oh damn.
I mean, yeah, no, that's a pricey boy now.
Yeah.
That's when I was getting into shmups too, and that's like when I was like, if I don't buy it now, it's just gonna get worse. So I just bit the bullet, and that was before kids, so I had the money to do it. So there you go.
Right. I actually I feel stupid because I've passed on it 2 times now. I passed on Splatterhouse 2 and 3 complete in box back in like 2018 or 2019 when it was like $90.
Yep.
And now the loose cart is $90. And I passed on it again because I was like, I'm not paying that. I already have different ways of playing this game.
Yeah.
You know. But then now I'm like, I wish I had it.
You're like, but I still want it. I just want it.
I had to justify it. I was like, the label's smudged. I don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, I have both of them. Those were ones I got in my collecting phase, so they did not come cheap, but it wasn't what it is now, at least luckily. But yeah. Splatterhouse was one of those series when we reviewed it like 6-7 years ago that I was like, you know what, I just want to own all of these. So. Yeah,
the remake's not too bad either.
No, I like the remake. That game is underrated. It's got a shitload of problems, but it's a fucking ton of fun.
It is a super fun game, dude. I don't know what people stick up their asses with that game. Oh, it's too repetitive. Like, have you played God of War 1 through 3?
Yeah, have you played any game from that generation?
Right?
Like, yeah, they fucking, beat them up. Shut up. Enjoy the game. It's got boobs. Enjoy it.
Right? And it's got, like, one of the best voice actors in the game.
Yeah, fucking...
Jim Cummings?
Jim Cummings, yeah, I was blanking on it for a second. Yeah, but him as the Terror Mask was chef's kiss.
Dude, boom. Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Come on, Rick. He's got your girl. It's the best.
Or like when you die, it's like, man, you really are a fuck up, aren't you? Shit like
right?
Like he's just antagonizing you the whole time. It's great.
The whole time.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately now that's pretty expensive. That's one of those games that during lockdown went from a $10 game to a $100 game. So.
Oh, the reboot?
Yeah, that went up.
Oh wow, I have it on 360 and PS3.
Oh well, you're sitting on some pretty good cash.
Money! See, that's what I'm saying. I have no idea what any of my collection is worth.
They might have gone back down since then, but there was a while where they just went.
Same with those WWE games.
Yeah, fucking Here Comes the Pain out of nowhere became like an $80 game.
Yeah, when it would be like $10, at your local game shop. Please take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fucking wrestling games, they're not worth shit. Well, not anymore.
Right, yeah.
And last up from Burn Retinas. When it comes to fast food fries from major chains, who is the best and who is the worst?
I feel like I'm going to upset some people with my answers.
Uh-oh.
So, the best, I think, in my personal opinion, is... I don't know if I can technically say it because it's a seasonal thing, but the nacho fries from Taco Bell.
Good my 5-year-old is obsessed with them right now.
Oh, dude, they're so good. We ordered Taco Bell last night, and they gave us, like, double what we ordered. Like, on accident.
What?
Yeah, so I reached in my bag, and there were 2 nacho fries, and I was like, what did you pay? Well, I'm not saying anything. All right, fuck yeah, you know. But yeah, so nacho fries are probably, like, my favorite, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. Now, for the ones that are around all the time, what would your pick be?
Probably... Man. Okay. Probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm down with the waffle fries, yeah.
They're very good.
Yeah, and they're, like, not overly salted either. You know, and you can eat them with the Chick-fil-A sauce or without it, and they're fine.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Good pick.
What about you?
Yeah. You know what? I haven't had them in years. I got to get them again to see if they still hold up and taste as good as they did before. Fucking Checkers had the best goddamn fries in the fucking world. Checkers. Do you even have Checkers out in Arizona?
No, I don't think so. Is there any other name it would go by?
I don't know. Maybe it has...
Like, we have Carl's Jr., but you have Hardee's.
Well, I don't even have Hardee's. I got to go to fucking Delaware for that. But
oh,
yeah.
Shit. Okay.
But yeah, yeah, no, Checkers, I don't know if they have another brand. Like, it's a lower-end fast food joint.
Okay.
Like, as a burger place. Like, the burgers are kind of trash, but their fries were always god tier.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a Chick-fil-A fan as well. You know who stepped their goddamn game up? Fucking Wendy's stepped their goddamn game up with their fries.
Yeah, when they started doing that commercial campaign for their fries, yeah, that was some good shit.
Yeah, when they started putting that sea salt in there, sea salt, terrible in beer, awesome in Wendy's fries.
Yes, agreed.
And for the worst,
I got my answer ready to go.
All right, let's hear it.
McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
I like my fries consistent.
That is a good point. They are extremely inconsistent fries.
Yep. Because you either get them right out of the fucking fryer, or they've been sitting in that fucking bin for like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when they're sog monsters, it's awful.
Or they're too hard, and they're cold.
Yeah, that too.
You know, and like, it's just, I think with McDonald's, I always get ripped off when it comes to bang for buck, because they always give you those little shriveled up pieces. There's always way more of those than the long fries. And you never get any meaty fries because they're all the fucking like same diameter and width and everything. Mm-hmm. Unless you get like the little curvy end pieces with the fucking dagger point on them.
Yeah.
I know everyone raves about McDonald's fries and stuff.
I don't know why that's the meme. I don't know why the meme is like McDonald's has the best fries. Maybe because they've been doing it the longest and like their parents beat it in their head. I don't know.
It's because, you know what I think it is, bro? Instead of just salting them, they put MSG and salt in the mixture. So it's like crack.
Is that what it is? They do the Chinese
I don't know.
Huh?
I have no idea. I'm being fucking tinfoil hat boy here, but...
Look, you don't have to worry about getting sued. This is my show, so I can take the brunt.
But yeah, dude, there's got to be something up, man. Because people, they go crazy over the fries. I don't get it. Maybe it's because, you know, I went to school and graduated and stuff, but hey.
I have a more refined palate when it comes to my trash fast food.
Yeah, when my my taste buds ring of the freedom fry, the French fry, the
freedom fries.
Yeah.
Oh god, that fucking failed attempt.
The potato delicacy.
The crisps, as they say.
Yeah, I've got a British friend, and he calls shit crisps and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I know what you're saying, but stop it.
Yeah, but water kills them in their video games they make, so they don't count.
I will never
fucking
understand
Euro platformers.
I will never get it.
For worst fry, for the ones I've tried from a chain, I gotta go with Sonic. Like, I've never had a more like fry in my life. Like,
yeah,
like you said, like McDonald's can be really inconsistent, but at least when it's good, it's really good. Mm-hmm. And but Sonic, every time I've had him, I was just like, yeah, it's here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I gotta say, I actually agree. Now that I'm thinking about it, they're really not all that great.
Sonic in general is never that great.
I'll disagree with you there, but we'll leave it as such. But I would say Sonic and I don't think you guys have it out there, but Whataburger.
No, we do not have Whataburger.
Yeah, so their fries are pretty trash, too. The only thing that makes their fries good is their ketchup. Because they have their own branded ketchup. It's called Fancy Ketchup.
Is it just like 10,000 times more sugar?
Probably. Most likely.
Gotta get that flavor in there somehow.
Oh, yeah. Well, and they do have their own branded spicy ketchup, too, which is pretty bomb. But, yeah.
Ooh. But, yeah, all right. Yeah. I think I had Jack in a Box before. I think we went to a bachelor party in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And, like, we got Jack in a Box. And, one, I couldn't believe how fucking, like, buttery and, like, it was, like, disgusting, the burger. Like,
oh, yeah.
It was good hangover food, but it was such a sloppy mess. I was like, man, you guys really do this all the time out here, huh? Like, I don't know how you do this.
Yeah. They're pretty wretched, dude. But, I mean, I think we talked about this before when we were talking about, like, favorite fast food joints in one of these Patreon Q&As. That they have, like, their own, like, late night menu that you can only order from certain hours of the night. And it's all, it's all, like, drinking and stoner-based stuff.
Oh, no, look, as a drunk, I very much appreciate them putting that for me, okay? Like, that's a menu made for me. I'm just saying I wasn't drunk enough for it at the time.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, Burn Retinas. That is definitely one question to start some arguments. You know, instead of talking about politics this Thanksgiving, talk about favorite fast food fries.
Yeah, you can still argue, you can still hate your in-laws, but you can still keep it friendly, too.
Yeah. And then when they get so upset that you disagree with them, you'd be like, what are you so upset for about French fries? You know how dumb you look right now?
Yeah, right? That's the ultimate trump card right there.
Right? You're the one that brought it up.
That's awesome. But yes, that wraps up the Patreon questions for this week. So once again, thank you to everyone out there for hitting us up, for all the support. Make sure to head on over to Patreon if you're new to check out the tiers for game review requests, for questions for the podcast, for just bonus content in general. And, of course, our bonus episodes of the podcast with the lovely Nerdy Nick right here. So, if you want to check out more of him, check out his show, and pay for our show. All right, so this is a special edition of the Power Hour podcast. And unfortunately, Brian's not here because he's the one who did all the work setting this up. But this week's episode of the Power Hour podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about your gifts. Whether it's for a friend or friends in your pants, you can make this season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and using the code DBPG. So drink beer, play game, DBPG, for free shipping and 20% off. So, funny enough, even before Brian told me that we had this set up, my wife, over the past Thanksgiving, the past Valentine's Day, signed me up for Manscaped. Because if you want certain activities done, it's a gift for me and her. I get something out of it, and she doesn't have to floss after. So, as a customer, I can say that this actually does work, and it works wonders. And I'm not the easiest shaver, so I've had no nicks and no problems.
Hey, what's wrong with nicks?
Different Nick. Different Nick. But yeah, I mean, as an actual customer, I gotta say, it does the goddamn job. Like, it's got this, like, plastic kind of thing there for where the razor is, and yeah, it's super easy to clean. It's actually really damn convenient. And she got me, like, a package, too, with, like, the nose hair trimmer, which it really beats having her taking tweezers to my nose, so I really appreciate that. So, for any guy out there, like, I'm not just saying it for the ad read, it's definitely a thing that I use and fully support.
Yeah, and speaking of the nose trimmer, I actually picked up the Weed Whacker 2.0 today because it's wedding week, baby, and I don't want any loose ends dangling out, if you know what I mean. And this thing works like a charm, and it's also very sleek, discreet, and it just looks kind of like badass. It's I think it's the perfect present for your significant other, especially regardless of gender, because these things work on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got hair in places. We could all use it, really. But
oh, yeah.
Yes, but to speak of the packages that you can get, the Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is one of the top shop for the man who deserves it all. It has everything needed to help you deck the halls from face to balls just in time for the mistletoe season. The Platinum Package has each product from the best-selling Performance Package Plus Ultra Premium Body Wash, Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner, and Ultra Premium Deodorant. It's the best way to smell fresh from your Santa hat to your candy cane. The Lawnmower 4.0, this boy right here, body trimmer and weed whacker nose and ear hair trimmer feature proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate presence. Plus, both are waterproof, so there's no issue cleaning the snow from your driveway. I can vouch for that. There's also a 4000K LED light, so you can light the way like Rudolph. now that you've groomed candy cane, it's time to make sure you don't smell like a reindeer with the Platinum Package's shower products. All of Manscaped shower gear is sulfate-free, vegan, and made to have your skin feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. But smelling good doesn't stop at the shower. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Preserver Ball Toner can solve stank problems all day long. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. The Platinum Package 4.0 sitting under a tree is guaranteed to put anybody in the holiday spirit. And for the perfect stocking stuffer, add in the brand new Body Buffer, an incredible body scrubber that makes exfoliating easy and a lot cleaner than the old loofah. So, get 20% off and free shipping with the code DBPG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DBPG. Manscaped. Get your jingle balls ready for the holidays. All right, so we are back with our normal news segment. And first up comes to us from the Game Data Library. Nick, I already spoiled this for you because I sent you the all the topics beforehand. But I would have asked, what do you think is the most highest-selling game of all time in Japan because it just got broken? And it's a recent goddamn game. I'll give you that hint. Not that you don't already know the answer.
Is it, Let's see. I'm gonna say Animal Crossing.
Wow! I would have never guessed you would have gotten that right. Yes.
Well, gee willikers.
Well, golly goddamn. Yes.
Slap me upside the head and call me Sally.
Goddamn. Yes, Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch came out in March of 2020. Only been out for just under 3 years, and it's already the highest-selling game in Japan of all time, beating out Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue combined, coming in with 10,450,000 units sold. That's fucking crazy.
Holy shit, that's like their population.
Actually, it kind of is. It's like almost every single person. I know Dragon Quest is like a holiday when they release in Japan. Oh, yeah. But excuse me. But yeah, Animal Crossing, I mean, we've talked about it before in the show. It was like right time, right game for being stuck in home. Like,
savior of the pandemic.
You can't go outside to do chores, so you might as well do it virtually and interact with people and get your bells. But man, just Japan alone, over 10 million units sold. Yeah, have you ever played Animal Crossing?
Yeah. So Evelyn has it on her Switch, but of course, I've helped her get from point A to point B in the game and whatnot. It's never been my cup of tea because I've never been one of those kind of like life simulator kind of people. I do play the occasional Power Wash Simulator or House Flipper game.
Or a Shower with Your Dad Simulator, as we do.
Oh, yeah, fucking Jim.
A game so bad, even Steam pulled it down.
Yeah. But no, it's never really been a game that I've played. And also, too, like, I know I would definitely feel guilty knowing that it is, like, a living ecosystem. And then being like, I'm not going to play this game for 3 months. And then come back, and everyone's like, where the fuck have you been?
I'm dying.
Yeah. I have life, man. But no, yeah, it definitely is one of those games, especially like when 2020 and all that glorious shit happened.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a very I'm not gonna like try to be like too hokey or corny here, but I think that game brought a lot of people together and did a lot of good for the world and got people into gaming who weren't necessarily gamers.
Yeah. It was almost like the Wii effect where it's like, it's a thing that like anyone can pick up and play, anyone can enjoy, and like you said, it got people, communicating with the ecosystem and going on Twitter and, making deals for bells and all that other bullshit that you can sell to each other.
Yeah, it was pretty it was pretty unique. It was pretty neat to see that happen during a time.
Yeah, so so it's coming from Game Data Library on Twitter, and it's showing the top 20 games of all time. 3 of them are Animal Crossing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Animal Crossing has the top spot, but also New Leaf on the 3DS is number 8 with almost 6 million units sold. And Wild World on the DS has 5.35 million units sold. So Japan loves them some goddamn Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
and then besides that, it's actually kind of what you would expect. It's a shitload of Pokemon. There's I think it's like half the list is Pokemon games. And then it's a couple Smash Bros, some Super Mario Brothers, and Brain Age randomly.
What?
Yeah, Brain Age 2 on the DS is number 16 with 5.1 million items sold.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm really surprised there's no Final Fantasy on there.
I am actually surprised about that as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised there's no more. Like, for as much as people talk up Dragon Quest over there, there's only one on there. Dragon Quest 9 on the DS at number 20 with 4.4 million sold.
Wow. That's pretty bewildering.
Now, it does say includes digital data, estimates used when needed. So, I mean, yeah, it's obviously they're all perfect numbers, so you're not going to get the exacts. But let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Pokemon entries on here.
Wow.
Then there's a couple Monster Hunters. Super Mario Brothers still at number 4 in the old Famicom. So,
holy cow.
Yeah, you want to talk about and Splatoon 2 and 3, surprisingly enough.
You know, that I'm actually not surprised by.
Really?
Yeah, that game is what you would call, I think, what is their term they use? Kawaii? Or whatever, for being like uber cutesy and shit, you know?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not weebed enough.
Yeah, no. The only reason I know that term is from, was it when Conan went down to, that district in one of his episodes on his show.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too.
And they dressed him up all, oh, God, yeah. Anyways, wow, I don't think I would have ever really put Animal Crossing as number 1 on there because I never thought that would, I don't know.
I knew it was huge, but I didn't know it was that huge, especially in, one area and especially in that short a time period, too. That's crazy.
Yeah, because, I mean, I could be totally wrong here, but I thought that game had more of a Western feel to it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, maybe it's just because of the Twitter circles, and I mean we're Western country to them,
right.
So we saw it all over the fucking place. I know people who put in 1,000 hours into that goddamn game.
Yeah.
So I know the obsession was real. I just didn't realize that a country with only so many millions of people, basically almost all of them fucking bought the game.
Right. It's a crazy install base. Kudos to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean the Switch has just absolutely killed it during its lifespan. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with as many Switches are out there, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'll be sad to see the Switch go whenever that time comes.
Me too. I forget. I saw something somewhere today. Now that you bring it up, where it's Switch units are starting to sell less and less, and you kind of have to expect it. We're 5 years into its life cycle, and
I can't believe that either.
Yeah, we're old. We got old quick.
Can you believe that? I can't. I feel like Breath of the Wild just came out, last month.
I know. It feels like it just came out still. And, yeah, we're 5 years in, getting probably close to the end of the life cycle of the original Switch.
Yeah.
It was underpowered when it came out. It's just, shown its age more and more.
Yeah. But, yeah, I wonder, is Legend of Zelda on there at all?
I closed out of it. I don't remember seeing a Legend of Zelda on there. Let me go back to it real quick.
Because I know here in the States, there were more copies of Breath of the Wild sold than Switches.
No Legend of Zelda.
Holy
for
shit.
Japan. So yeah, let's see here. New Super Mario Bros. Brain Age, talked about. One Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Freedom 3. On the PSP. The PSP snuck in there. Good
Holy
for them.
shit. Good for them.
Yeah, shitload of Pokemon and Mario Kart and Super Mario Bros. And shit like that.
That's crazy.
No Zeldas. I mean, Metroid never sold well, so I don't expect to see a Metroid. But
yeah.
I'm more shocked by the lack of Zelda and the lack of Final Fantasy and really just one Dragon Quest. That even really surprises me.
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me is no Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you would really expect... maybe... Do you think that maybe just had the bigger impact in the West because of 6 and 7?
Probably.
Because those are the ones that really got anyone who's a JRPG nerd in our neck of the woods and our age, like it was one of those two games probably, and maybe Chrono Trigger, that you know, brought them into the fold.
Yeah, yeah, I would probably say that. Yeah, I think the first Final Fantasy I played was 8. Was that the one with Squall?
Yes.
Yeah, I played 8 on a Pizza Hut demo.
Nice.
Never played a game like this before, and then all of a sudden I found out what JRPGs were.
Yeah, it's thanks to Final Fantasy that I fucking developed my hatred of storylines in games because of my best friend growing up. I've mentioned it before real quick, being addicted to Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. And I would go over there and be like, hey, you want to hang out? And he's like, yeah, sure. Then I go over there and he's just playing Final Fantasy all fucking night. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'm going to go now. Like,
yeah.
I'd dick around on his like Game Gear for a while and then be like, all right.
Battery died. Later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Your dad needs to go to the store and get more batteries.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with that. Excuse me. But yeah, so I just thought that was real interesting. Like, congratulations, Animal Crossing. You fucking killed it.
Yeah.
The most unassuming game of all.
And, like, how can you top that, right?
It, like, that game was such a perfect storm on a console that was such a perfect storm. Like, I really don't know. But then again, we said the Wii was the perfect storm, and then, like, the Switch comes out of nowhere and does gangbusters, too. So.
Right. I think it would be... It's going to be interesting to see what, like, Nintendo does next, you know, as far as all that goes, because you couldn't find a Switch during the pandemic. You couldn't find, you know, Animal Crossing really anywhere because that game sold out like crazy over here. Yeah. And apparently it sold gangbusters over there, so it's going to be interesting to see, like, what the next move is for that.
Yeah, I agree. I have no idea where they go from here, but... if anyone's going to pull it out of their ass, it's probably going to be them, because they just seem to keep doing it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is, speaking of the pandemic in 2020, there was another game that came out that got paired up with Animal Crossing, and that was Doom Eternal.
You know, we have to hire you for these transitions, because that was fucking perfect.
Thank you.
Yes... the next story up was probably like the biggest news of the past week. If I didn't trample over trying to compliment you, that would have been an even better transition.
Damn it, Jim!
Look, it's what
I brought Brian into the podcast with the damn it, Jim.
It had to be done. Like, yeah. I'm going to be smacked by the end of this. I know it. And I'll probably deserve it, too. That was a good smack.
Thank you.
But yeah, so probably like the biggest controversy in gaming from the past week was a post by Mick Gordon. So, if you don't know who Mick Gordon is, he is a music composer, and he's done a shitload of games. Most notably, recently, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal.
But don't sleep on his Killer Instinct soundtrack either.
Oh, very, very, very true. Like, no, this guy, he's fucking great. So, 2 years ago, on Reddit, back in 2020, Marty Stratton, who was the id Software studio director... excuse me. 1 second for the drink.
Gaggling on all that pubic hair that you're not using with the Manscaped.
Oh, all the pubic hair that doesn't exist anymore, thanks to Manscaped. Use promo code DBPG at manscaped.com. But yes, so Marty Stratton, he put an open letter out on Reddit back in 2020, basically because there was a huge controversy surrounding the OST for Doom Eternal. Because basically it was going to be delayed. There wasn't, like, the quality really wasn't there when it finally did come out. It was a whole weird thing about it. And he basically threw Mick Gordon under the bus, saying that Mick wasn't really being professional, that they gave him plenty of time, and he was basically praising id's in-house music guy, Chad, for getting it together. So, out of nowhere last week, Mick comes out with this gigantic rebuttal. Absolutely huge. I read through the... Nick, did you read through the whole thing, or...?
So, like, I skimmed the... I read, like, his opening statement into this whole rebuttal that he had posted and whatnot. And you can find it all online. But I read the gist of it, and then once it got to bullet points and everything, I was like... I don't have time to read all of this right now, because there is a lot in this. Mick is a very... thorough professional. I mean, you can see the documentaries that they've done just by showing or listening to one of his lectures on how he composed the soundtracks for Doom and Doom Eternal. I mean, you think you're listening to electric guitars, it's fucking chainsaws run through like 20 different mixers. So, if the man is thorough with his work, he's going to be thorough with his words. And I did not have enough time to dig into all that. I was patching a roof today. But
dude, I do not blame you. So, I read through this. Let me put it this way. He does a summary, a TLDR, as I like to torture Brian with, at the end. That's like 5 pages. The summary is 5 pages. This was a half-hour read minimum if you sat there and read the whole thing, which I did. And I will not be going through the entire thing for you, but the basic gist of it came down to, so Mick works remotely, and he's a contracted worker, and basically he depends on good communication between his studio and the game developers himself. So a big gimmick for Doom Eternal was that they wanted to have the gameplay really ape what the music was and back and forth. So as you would get into like more calm parts, it would be calmer music, more intense action sequences, more intense action parts. And the problems
the game would actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, the game would actually vibe off of how you're playing and throw the music that way.
Yes, exactly. So it's a game that's so important that you know what's going on between the two things. And they figured, like, according to Mick, the id side was like, okay, you start working on stuff and we'll, patch it in here. And Mick's going, well, if you want my music to ape what the levels are doing, I need to know what the levels are doing.
Right.
And, like, a lot of the levels were not ready yet at that point. And, like, if you read the language of the contract that he signed, it was pretty fucked up because id basically had carte blanche to take anything that he made. They could review anything, and at their whim, they could say, this isn't good enough, do something different. But they could say, do something different, but they could still keep the source material that they had. So he basically went through what they wound up, if I remember correctly, I'll try to look it up real fast, too, from this long-ass document. But I think it came down to he wound up with 2.5 hours of music that he produced going into the game, and id wound up using 5 hours of what they sent him. And they only wound up paying him for the 2.5 hours. And he actually did not get paid for like 8 months at the longest point.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, they were holding up his pay for a long goddamn time. He was getting like, there were times where he was getting no communication at all from id. When id was at E3 announcing Doom Eternal, that's when they dropped that they were doing an OST without even talking to him.
Right.
And that's bad enough, but they marketed the OST as Mick Gordon's soundtrack. So all of a sudden, he's like, holy fuck, now my name's attached to this, and I have no idea I was even supposed to do this. And, like, I gotta say, for as bad as id handled all this, Mick was really trusting and really gullible to a fault.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a cautionary tale. Like, if I was any kind of contract, like, you hear horror stories all the time from the video game industry, from like developers and crunch time and shit like that. Like, this poor fuck was living out of his studio and missing like Easter and Christmases and shit like that just to try and get this work done. Like in the normal business world, they have a thing called CYA, cover your ass. Like, good on Mick, he kept every single email, so he has receipts out the ass in his document. Dude, after, like, if he was doing all of his calls over Skype for fucking with business, he should have been recording all of them too.
Right.
At this point. Like, I don't know, there's a legality of recording phone calls and all that bullcrap, but, like, after a while, like, if you're feeling shit's going down, you gotta, like, fucking, really watch out for yourself.
Exactly.
So, it had this extremely turbulent, terrible development cycle for him. He got raked over the coals in a lot of way, and the game eventually came out to universal acclaim, but the soundtrack that eventually came out was, according to Mick and to reviews from people who got it, one, it was late, and two, it was garbage. Because the in-house music guy kind of just spliced together stuff without, like, really, like, balancing stuff out. There was a lot of pop-ins. The levels were all wrong. Like, he didn't make it musical. Because Mick wanted to make a full soundtrack. Like, you can't just put in sound clips. You have to, like, make a score, basically.
Right.
And, yeah, so there's all this shit going down, and people were complaining. So this Stratton guy decides to fucking go to Reddit to he put a pretty lengthy thing basically throwing Mick under the bus. So 2 years later, we have Mick's final statement here in his long-form thing. The link will be below if you want to read through the whole thing. I got to tell you, it's a really interesting read, but block out about 40 minutes because it is long and detailed, like Nick just said.
Yeah. Like, did you read this on the toilet?
Some on the toilet, some back and forth between other stuff. But yes, the toilet was involved. It was great toilet weeding. Weeding? Right. I just Elmer-funded that.
Weeding. The Weed Whacker 2.0. Manscaped. Code DrinkABeerandPlayAGame.
DBPG. Manscaped.com. 20% off your first order and free shipping.
But, yeah, man. And, like, that's the thing, too, that really sucks is the soundtrack is fucking amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to it just on repeat at the gym via YouTube. Of course, you know, there's really good channels out there that throw in, you know, playlists of, you know, the Doom Eternal soundtrack and whatnot. But, speaking of the soundtrack, it really does suck that he was not involved in the DLC. Because
he wasn't at all.
Yeah, the bridges were burned. You know, he had been thrown under the bus and run over. And like you said, he was gullible to a fault. But that's because he's probably a good guy, right?
He seems like a super nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And all he cares about is his craft at the end of the day. And no fault, right, to the fill-ins for the Ancient Gods DLC. But there is such a stark difference in the sound. And for someone who loves Doom as much as I do, like, I can't tell you how many different versions of Doom I have. You know, from the beginning, the very first, to now. Like, I have Doom Eternal on Xbox, PlayStation. I don't have it on Switch, but I was there for, like, day one launch. You know, I've got a fucking Doom lunchbox. I've got, you know, the fucking
nice.
The Doom Slayer is my dream cosplay. But I think his name's Andrew Schult or Shoholt or something like that, who did the Ancient Gods DLC. Like, he had some big shoes to fill, and you can just really feel the stark difference between Mick Gordon and his work. It really sucks that it went down this way, because the Ancient Gods had a lot of opportunity for Mick's creativity, because that DLC was such a I'm not going to say like a different kind of game, because they really did amp up the difficulty and scenery in the Ancient Gods. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I'm gonna, spoiler alert, in the Ancient Gods, you get to the closing of Doom in its current storyline.
Oh shit.
And you fight yourself, basically. And you learn about, like, who the Maker is, like, basically, like, who is God and who is the devil, and you end up fighting the devil, which is basically yourself.
Huh.
And it would have been so great to see Doom finish out with Mick Gordon and his soundtrack, because, like, I can tell you, like, names of songs in that soundtrack that are just so fucking metal, dude. Like, The Only Thing They Fear Is You. You know, there's the Super Gore Nest song. That I listen to that every time I bench. You've got Metal Hell and the Gladiator song. There's just so many. I can rave on and on about the soundtrack. But I am extremely bummed, because I know that there will never be another Mick Gordon soundtrack for any other Doom that comes out.
It's not looking good.
No. I mean, they got to do some real fucking kiss-assery to ever get him back.
And it's actually funny, because later on in the thing, he talks about how he tried to get this hit piece by Mike Stratton taken down off the Reddit, because, you know, people were just... Here's why I take Mick's side, for a quick side note. If you're going to put out a big official corporate statement about a major fuck up for a thing that you think, good job.
Thing you think.
For a thing you think. For a thing you announced and, said it in E3. Why is your rebuttal and official statement on fucking Reddit?
Of all places.
So the second I hear that, I'm like, all right, I'm on Mick's side. Fuck Reddit. I fucking hate Reddit. So, you know what? Mick's right. Yeah. So, of course, all the Redditors fucking started to spurg out, and they got, spent everywhere, and people were attacking Mick, and for a while, it ruined his personal reputation and professional reputation. Mm-hmm. So that's why he eventually had to put this. I'm sure it's kind of like when Pro Jared did his rebuttal, how he took a long time to get around to it because he wanted to make sure he had all of his ducks in a row, which it seems like Mick did here. So, but it's funny how, like, eventually at one point, he actually went to the Reddit mod to be like, hey, can you please, like, I'm Mick Gordon, can you please take this down? This is ruining my life. And the mod took it down for, like, a couple days, but then it went back up a little bit later. And, like, the current mod of, like, r/Doom is kind of just like, I don't know what this other mod did, shit like that. Like, keep it, don't attack people, but, it's here. There's nothing I can do kind of deal.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate.
It's a whole fucking crazy thing.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because I guarantee you, like, that OST would have sold like fucking fire. Oh, I know so many people who never even played Doom, but love the fuck out of the music from 2016 and 2020 Doom.
Yeah, I never got around to Doom Eternal. I really need to, but, like, I absolutely loved Doom 2016. So,
yeah,
I know his qualities there and what he can do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was
and
just
Brian loved Eternal too. Brian played Eternal.
Yeah, it was just so cool to learn that, like, the music played off of how you're playing. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was, like, such a fucking cool system. Metal Hellsinger on Xbox Game Pass or Microsoft Game Pass tries to do something like that, but it's not as good.
Actually, that's a Patreon request we have coming up, so we'll be getting around to that for a full review.
Have fun.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, it's not as good. Oh, no, but I mean, you definitely have fun. Enjoy. Yeah, no, Brian played through it. It seemed like he liked it. Actually, funny story, like, we're finally hitting that phase in this generation where, like, you need to have the new systems. Yeah. Because it's on Game Pass, and I tried to play it, but, like, it's only for the series consoles. Gotcha. So, like, I tried to do the cloud streaming version, and, like, it's a rhythm, timing, you need to have precise input kind of game, and I was like, this is unplayable through the cloud Game Pass.
Yeah, you have to, like, calibrate to, like, the, like, millisecond of, your shot and the sound timing and all that.
Yeah. So I have it downloaded on my PS5, so I'm going to be playing it on there. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to play it. But that and A Plague Tale, I wanted to play that too, and that's only for the new systems. I'm like, we finally hit that time.
Yeah.
Good thing I had the PS5, or I'd be out of luck with a lot of shit. So
right. Hey, I got a Series S. You want
it? If I had any kind of spare money right now, I would say yes. But I know you're a recent PS5 boy as well, so.
Mm-hmm. PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Of course, I'm playing my PS5 through a 2011 Panasonic Viera plasma screen TV, so not really getting the full experience out of it. Maybe one day I'll upgrade.
Yeah.
I'll get there, but yes, Mick Gordon, my heart goes out to you. Just because the other guy went to Reddit, fuck him, and that's my final word on that.
Amen, hallelujah, Mick Gordon for president.
So. Yeah. All right. Coming back.
You good? You keep coughing, bro. Are you getting sick?
Just got too many cummies in my mouth. I can't help it. See, that's the line Brian's going to keep in.
Yeah.
All right, so our last topic for tonight, and this is actually breaking news. Finally, every fucking news story happens on like a Tuesday, and we record on Mondays, and we always like have some major thing happen. We have to wait a week to talk about it. Not this week, motherfuckers.
It's because I'm filling in.
It really is. It's the Nick gift. You just got that R. Like they knew you were going to be here.
The nerdy Nick magic.
Exactly. See, Brian, do better. Yeah. But yes, the Game Awards. A lot of nominees have been announced today, and we're not going to go through them all tonight because a lot of them, who fucking cares? The big one though, the big Kahuna. Your 6 nominees for the Game of the Year: A Plague Tale: Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War: Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah. Okay, look it. Here's my spiel real quick.
All right.
Number 1, Stray. I didn't hear anyone talk about it after it got released. I heard, like, it maybe had, like, some fire to it maybe for, like, 3 days on Twitter. Like, ooh, look at I can run around as a fucking cat. Cool, whatever. Also, number 2, God of War Ragnarok just fucking came out. How has it had enough time to marinate in the thoughts for Game of the Year? I don't know when the cutoff day is where they decide to make this list. You know, I will say maybe there's just some biasy or something. But
what?
Yeah. But it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And it doesn't really matter because Elden Ring's gonna run away with it.
Yeah. Nick, are you trying to say that the Video Game Awards just might be a corporate sham for the industry? And that's why they throw in a game that just released, just for hype? Even though it's getting memed on for being extremely hand-holdy and, like, too much goddamn narrative?
I mean, you know, that just might subtly be something about that. He just, you know...
Might be a little thing going on. But, yeah, I mean, to your point with Stray, like, that was, like, the meme game of the year, but even for, like, being the meme game, like, it only had, like, you said, a couple weeks of lasting power. Like, it came out, people were like, oh, this cat game's pretty goddamn cool. And they talked about it for, like, maybe a month, and then it just, like, went away.
Right.
Now, granted, like, I know it's a short game, there's, like, no replayability to it, really, so, you know, it is what it is, and people did seem to like it. Or it's just, you know, the fucking internet and a cat, and you throw that together, and then everyone just loses their mind.
Right.
But...
like, let me just play devil's advocate here and say, okay, if God of War Ragnarok made the list with coming out, what, in the last 7 days?
Yeah.
How the fuck is, like, Call of Duty not on that list, then?
I don't think Call of Duty's ever going to get that kind of love again. They could make the best game of all time, and I still don't think they'd throw it on a list here.
But, you know, it's already sold, like, what, over 10 million copies?
Has it? That much?
Yeah, it was something like that. I saw it on, I think it was fucking, Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty is one of those tentpoles that, like, Activision lives and dies by, so, like, it has to sell every... It's like EA with sports games. Like, they need them to sell this much every year. Yeah. That's why we see them every year. But
again, just playing devil's advocate, I'm not saying it's game of the year. You know, it is my fucking toilet paper of a game. You know, you go through them as much as you go through toilet paper because that's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But I am so bewildered that fucking God of War made it on there. I don't even know anyone that's fucking beaten it yet. It
could have not released, and it probably still would have been on here. The way this is looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I always feel bad for the Horizon series. Now, I haven't played them. I always hear that they're fucking fantastic. Mm-hmm. But they have... whoever times the releases for Horizon games needs to be shot. Because the first one was a week before Breath of the Wild, so that got completely overshadowed. This one, a week before Elden Ring. Holy shit. How do you have that much bad luck in a row?
Fucking horrible timing.
Yeah, like, I'm happy to see a Plague Tale recognized on here, because I just played the first one this year, and it really was excellent. I want to play the new one, but I gotta be honest, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it either.
Right.
So, like, that's, like, the storyline game of the year, I guess.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's cool to see a Switch exclusive on here, JRPG. Sure. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
Horizon doesn't have a chance in hell. Like, it's going to come down to Elden Ring and Ragnarok, but, like you said, I can't see it not being Elden Ring because, like, Elden Ring was, like, a cultural event in gaming this year. Like,
yeah, it was, like, you can liken it to fucking Animal Crossing, what we talked about earlier.
Kind of, yeah.
Like everyone was fucking playing it.
Everyone was playing it. Even people who hadn't played other, like, FromSoft games played. It's the first FromSoft game I bought. It's the one that got memed on to high heaven. It's the only thing people talked about for a couple months as far as gaming goes. People still bring it up. Game devs for other companies still bitch about it. Yep. And try to cope and say that it's a badly designed game just because no one's buying their shit dick games. Guess what, motherfuckers? People just like a game that lets you play it as a game and have a real adventure. Right. So, like, I can't see it not being Elden Ring either. It's got to be Elden Ring.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, too. I love video games. Let's just make sure I say that before I say what I'm about to say. I don't think there was really a whole lot of good games that came out this year.
You know what actually is the most surprising thing to not see on here? And I had completely forgotten it even came out. The Last of Us Remake Part 1.
I'm glad it's not on here.
For, like, such a lazy remake as that was, really, and, like, you know, really in essence.
It has look, it has no business being in existence. There was no need for this game, no want for this game. The only reason they're releasing this game is I guarantee you, because of the show that's coming out.
Yeah. And that does look pretty good. We talked about it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, the show does look pretty good, and you cannot go wrong with the cast, but this is the second remake of this game. And they have the fucking... I hate this about Final Fantasy VII. They have the audacity to split it into separate parts.
Yep.
To make you spend more money on something you already have that is semi-current gen.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the PS4 had the HD remake, and this is just another... Like, I know it's a little bit of a reimagining and shit, but, like, it doesn't do that much new from what I've seen.
Yeah, no. I mean, you get some little texture differences here and there, but at the end of the day, like, bro, this did not need to come out.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the one, like, real glorious thing is that, like, that's a game that you're like, all right, the game industry is just going to jerk it off because it's Naughty Dog and Last of Us, and they're going to throw it on there. But they did it. So kudos to you, Jeff Keighley, for keeping it off there. I got to give you that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like out of all the games that are on this list, I'm not really impressed by any of them.
Yeah, like I said, I still want to really play a Plague Tale because I liked the first one so much. Yeah. Elden Ring I really liked, but I only put like 15 hours in. I'm going to put that on my resolution list next year to actually beat it. Yeah. So, here comes another 100 fucking hours of playtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my co-host Josh, he had spent 125 hours, I want to say.
That's what I hear, like, from all my buddies who, like, actually beat it. They all spent, like, over 100 hours to beat it. I'm just like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a dad. You know, we're both dads. We both got, you know, jobs that take a lot of our attention, you know, and whatnot. Like, it is so hard to see myself sitting down and playing through a game that's going to require 125 hours of my time.
Yep.
You know, like, I would, as much as disappointed as I was with how short Modern Warfare 2's campaign was, I was like, I beat a game. Yeah.
Thank God. It didn't overstay its welcome. It left you wanting more. Like, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no way I'm going to finish the level 50 club this year. No way. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm also in the middle of, I'm at the tail end. It's wedding week. But,
yeah. I mean, you are getting married. That's, you know, somewhat important. I think level 50 is more important, but weddings, like, kind of up there.
Yeah. And of course, you know, too, I'm your online guy. So I play competitive stuff online. You know, there was plenty of time where I was just playing fucking Fortnite because they had Dragon Ball Z shit. Right. You know what I mean? So that took my time, but I don't know if I can...
Oh, look at Mr. I'm just having fun with my games and not getting a number out of the way. Ugh, fancy.
Hey, you know what? I should have asked you this. I should have asked you guys this a while ago. Does getting a battle or a victory royale count as beating Fortnite?
I would throw that in there. Yes.
Okay, then. Another game. There we go. Done. Because I've done that a few times as Goku.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But
you're that guy with all those memes for that month where, like, you're that last guy trying to run away and you're hearing that Kamehameha fucking loading up. You're like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyways, going back to, like, Elden Ring, it is a game, like, I have not Demon Souls. Help me out here, Jim.
Dark Souls?
Dark Souls. I have Dark Souls 2, 3. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. I'm sorry. But I've never... I think I played, like, half an hour of Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, it's not for me. But Elden Ring looked like it lived up to the hype. And I really do want to play it. It's just so daunting looking at the time that it's going to take to beat it.
Oh, yeah, there's no way I can do level 50 next year if I plan on beating Elden Ring. And I would much rather beat Elden Ring. So,
right. Yeah.
Like, that's going to take up so much goddamn time.
Is level 50 going to be a thing next year?
Well, I assume we're going to try it again. I mean, why not?
Yeah. I do have.
I don't know how I'm gonna have the fucking time to do it again because I'm gonna barely scrape into 50 some this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're both collectors. We both have a lot of, NES games, SNES, Genesis and whatnot, and we could probably beat a lot of those games. I'm sure, but
yeah,
you have to focus onto that. But anyways, Stray did look interesting. I won't lie.
I do want to play that. Like I was like a little bummed when it wasn't on Game Pass, but I do want to play Stray. But like I don't want to pay $40 for a 5-hour game.
Yeah, like a cat simulator and a cyberpunk aesthetic, and it looked cool.
I'm a dog person, so a dog.
Yeah, samesies. I've never played a Xeno Chronicle game, whatever.
Yeah, I own a couple of them just because I'm a stupid collector, but yeah, I'm never gonna play a Xenoblade Chronicles game. Come on.
Yeah, I do like that. There's a fucking Anchorman's in my head right now. I do like that there is some diversity in this Game of the Year, category. A very old wooden ship. So there.
But yeah, like if you look back to like 2020 when like the indie hit that they threw on there was fucking Hades, which is a goddamn masterpiece.
Yes.
And then like the indie hit this year is Stray, and you're just like, eh.
Like I would have rather. Now hear me out. I know it's like so small and shit, but I would have rather seen like fucking Infernax on there.
Yeah, Infernax was a kind of a big deal for a little bit. People were all like hyped about that and playing it.
Yeah,
I know you and Brian both played it. So
oh, dude, it was like it was like a true. As much as people were like over the moon about Curse of the Moon. Was it what Bloodstained Curse of the Moon?
Yeah,
yeah. As much as people were over the moon about that. And saying it was like a true callback to old school Castlevanias. I think Infernax was did a better job and also introduced like Dark Souls like elements to it as well.
I do have that on. Like I downloaded it. Like I downloaded it through Game Pass. It's on my Xbox right now. I do want to get around to it. And funny you mentioned Bloodstained. Like I played Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 this year, and I fucking loved it. But if you're saying that Infernax is even better in that genre, I guess I have to play it.
Oh yeah, you need to, dude. It's so fun. But yeah, man, I will say this. I'm kind of bummed there's like no shooters on there.
A little weird, but
bummed in that genre. I'm bummed that genre did not do well enough to even have one game on there.
Now, how about for a rebuttal? There is a good stretch of like 6-7 years where like there were so many goddamn shooters. Is it kind of nice to not see that genre dominating everything again?
Well, I mean, didn't Halo Infinite come out this year?
I think it was the tail end of 21. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to look that up. Let me look that up right now.
Yeah.
I am in front of a computer. I don't have an excuse not to look it up.
I mean, samesies. I went for the, iPhone real quick, but you said you were going to look it up, so.
November 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess, depending on what day, apparently, that came out, because obviously God of War made the list this year. Who knows? I don't know what the candidates were last year.
It's so goddamn goofy, it's already there.
Dude, yeah, didn't it come out like last Thursday? Or
Once you brought that up, it's like, holy shit, that really did just come out.
Yeah, like I have friends who bought the game day of and still haven't beaten it yet.
Yeah, like, and they're just like, oh, like that. Oh, fucking what? Oh god, I'm trying to think of like that perfect comparison where like you can just show up and you like automatically get put to like the front of the line kind of deal. It's like being like an A-list celebrity.
Yeah, it's like being like a rich white guy.
Yeah, exactly. God of War is the rich white guy that everyone hates.
Yeah. I mean, he is literally white. His skin is literally white.
It is ash white. It's literally ash.
Boy. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. If Halo wasn't on last year's, then I would say it deserves to be on this year's. But that could be easily rebutted if it was on last year's. But either way, I get what you're saying. I guess I'm sad and miss the days of like when Gears was at its high and Halo was at its high and fucking Crackdown, the first one anyways, was like breaking barriers and whatnot. And you had Borderlands on there and shit, you know, so it's like, meh. I do wish, maybe, you know what it is, bro? You know what it is? Number one, it's me being too nostalgic and not letting go of my past. And number two, it is me being so fucking bitter that Doom Eternal didn't win Game of the Year in 2020.
What did win in 2020? I can't remember. I know Doom was up for it, I think.
Was it God of... No. When did God of War... Was that 2019?
Oh, fucking Last of Us Part 2 one. What do you call it? Which I haven't played. I can't comment on it. I never even played the first one. I got to get around to it, but...
I feel like those games, if anything, are so overhyped and shit.
Dude, you know what? I think about that with like all the Naughty Dog cinematic games at this point. Like, I do want to play at least Last of Us 1, which like everyone seemed to love, but like this year, I finally got around to Uncharted 2, and I famously hate the Uncharted games.
Right.
And like, I eventually understood why people like 2, because like the last half of the game's pretty good, but I was still just like, it still had that like stink of like crappy combat and like too much cinematics and like everything's just built to be like, you know, a movie in a video game form, but it doesn't really do either as good as they think it is, but it's also an automatic 10 from Game Informer, that kind of bullshit.
But see, like, even I don't think there's anything wrong with a cinematic experience as long as the gameplay is really good.
Yeah.
Look back at like the Tomb Raider, you know, reboot series. Those games were pretty fucking great. In my opinion, but and story wise too. But yeah, Last of Us, I feel like they're just overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give them a go and, you know, try it, but like I also know like it's gonna be a thing I had to force myself into. Yeah,
I played the first Last of Us, and actually I think it was like the HD version, like the remake or whatever.
Yeah, the PS4 like, you know, prettied up version. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got a code for that actually when I got my PS4 Slim, I want to say, on Amazon Prime Day. And after, like, do you know anything about the game?
Ish. Like, I don't like, if you say anything, I don't really care. So
okay,
it's fine.
So like, I played the first like half hour of the game where you play as Joel's daughter.
Yeah.
The night shit, you know, breaks loose. And
well, yeah, it goes down, and I know his daughter dies, and Ellie becomes like a surrogate daughter, that kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, after I played as the daughter and got shot by like the military or whatever, I was like a fairly newish dad, and I was like, nope, done, putting this away. Because, you know, being a dad, like, certain things start to, like, pull your heartstrings a certain way.
It starts to hit different, yes, completely.
Yeah, before it'd be like, fuck them kids and whatever, you know, but now, I mean, sometimes still.
I'll fucking shoot her next.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah. No rushing this bitch. But,
we're old. Goddamn, we're old.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh. But yeah, I never really, after that, I put the game down and never picked it back up. But after seeing like reviews, gameplay, and so on and so forth, I feel like that series is so underrated or overrated. Sorry.
Yeah. You know, I eventually want to find out for myself, but I'm also not in a hurry. I'll do it eventually. I don't care.
Yeah.
Or if you want to force me into it, sign up for our Patreon.
Right? For as little as $2.
Well, if the game request is $5, that's a $5 tier.
Sorry.
But you do get the bonus episodes of the podcast with it, with the lovely Nerdy Nick, who was so kind to join me tonight to bail my goddamn ass out because God knows I can't carry a show on my own. Nick.
Oh, you could, bro. You could.
Nick, I've done it once, and it went 45 minutes, and it wasn't terrible, but I was, like, exhausted by the end. Like, yeah. I don't know how Bill Burr does it, like, 2 times a week, and he goes for, like, an hour and a half each time, just by himself.
Well, he's got a lot to say.
He does. Fucking Billy Redface! But, yeah. But, Nick, once again, thank you so much for coming on this week, my man. And once again, please, plug away. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on all major podcast platforms, and even on Audible, of all places. on the N Squared podcast, where for as little as $0, you can ask away.
La-di-da!
You can ask away any questions that you want. Just keep an eye out on my Twitter, @BuffNerd, when I post. We're going to be recording, and we want your questions. We will read them live on the air. Well, I guess it's not so much live, but you get the picture.
Live enough. Just imagine. It's basically radio.
Yeah.
It's new radio.
Thank you to all of our listeners in Iceland and England and all the other foreign countries that we have an audience, which is bewildering to me.
How do you have so many fucking women listening to your show?
Dude,
we have like none.
I have a 53% female listenership. It blows my mind because
I thought Brian was supposed to be the pretty one. I don't know if he's not as pretty as I thought, or if I'm just that repugnant. I don't know which. But we have like 2%, and you've got like 50. You are doing something good, my man.
And it's crazy because we talk about pro wrestling, comic books, video games, shit that's going on in movies, and all that good shit. And we don't really pull our punches over there either, just like you guys. But you can find me over on the N Squared podcast. You can find me on Twitter @BuffNerd. You can also find me on Instagram @NerdyNick_91. And finally, you can find me on YouTube @NerdyNick_91. Shit has just been kind of janky because I've been getting closer and closer to my wedding. This is wedding week, baby. November 18th, 2022. I will be off the market, so sorry, Jim. But
I can still fap.
But we will be getting back to our regularly scheduled programming. And once I figure out what's wrong with my PC, I'll start editing videos again and start doing all that good stuff. So
gotta love technology.
Oh yeah.
And actually, before we sign off, Nick, how was that beer?
The beer was really good. I only had one of them. I was gifted a build your own 6-pack for helping someone jump their car the other day. So they just gave me a mix of beers. But that peanut butter flavored milk stout by Belching Beaver was really good. It went down way too quick. I wish I had more. I've been sipping on Miller Lights ever since. Kind of a palate cleanser, so to speak, but it was really good.
And yeah, these berry monkeys are fucking dangerous. I went through 3 super fast and had to stop myself from a 4th because I was like, I would be in terrible shape tomorrow if I had 4 of these. But yeah, no, these were, I'm sure you can probably hear it as this episode progresses. But yeah, these were really good. These were really, really smooth. And yeah, if you're a fan of sours, actually if you don't like sours, but like you want to see why people can get into them, it's like a good starter for sours because you get a shitload of alcohol, but you don't get that like really harsh bite or like even overly fruitiness. It's very well balanced. So it's good shit right there.
Yeah. And once again, thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, of course.
Use code
DBPG for 20% off your order and free shipping.
That's right. Where you can get the lawnmower 4.0, baby. Yeah, give me some.
Waterproof, easy to clean, no nicks. Well, we got the one good nick here, but not the bad nicks. No bad nicks.
That's right.
I want this nick on my balls, not these nicks. So,
God damn it, Jim.
And there goes the sponsorship.
Oh, man.
But yes, thank you to everyone for checking out this episode. Please make sure to check out all the links to Nick's content. We'll have them below in the descriptions. And as always, guys, cheers.
Cheers.